guess because people that are watching horror films can put themselves into that same situation and get some sort of thrill out of it.
I think people enjoy watching horror films because it gives you a rush and a thrill without really putting yourself in danger.
I don't think so. I disagree. I think they spend their time fine.
Okay, thank you.
I think the only reason I would ever cheat would probably be if there was some kind of moral or ethical reason why I should. That would entail saving somebody's life or something like that. But a big reason why I went to the college that I went to is because cheating is completely 100% not tolerated, and I really hated that it was tolerated in high school, and so that's one of the main reasons I kind of altered my lifestyle with picking a school that didn't tolerate that. So it is something that I really don't feel like I would do unless somebody's life is at stake or something.
I would not cheat on my girlfriend because she's amazing. I didn't really think about standardized tests or something like that. I don't know, I think standardized tests are inane, but I probably still wouldn't cheat on them because I would feel guilty.
I think because the religion support love, people really get attached to their religion. So once attachment occurs, they become more vulnerable to getting offended. So when their religion gets offended, they seek to satisfy their offendedness by being violent.
Every religion tries to make people love in the same way. They each have their own interpretation of love, and each one thinks that everyone should follow that interpretation, and so they fight over that.
I think people lose the true definition of love, and of course the true definition of love is maybe not tangible, but I think people lose the focus of what love really is, and that leads to other things. Like hate. So I think that's what causes that, I suppose. Look at
Okay, well, I disagree with that. I think that people are more likely to do right than wrong. It's just sometimes people are confused about what is right and what is wrong.
It's not. No. Well, no, in a way, I guess it is. In a certain form, yeah. Like I look outside and think trees and stuff. It's art. It's just pretty to me, but yeah, it's in the eyes of the beholder. I don't know. Kind of like a bigger Jesus.
That's a really tricky question. I guess sometimes, like when I think of God, it just depends. Like he's not really a man, so it's incorrect to think of him as like a human being. But sometimes I think of him as like a supreme, like huge, almost like a big cloud, almost. If that makes sense. Like just kind of like reigning over like the earth and the stars, like just out somewhere like way beyond the clouds and way beyond our atmosphere, just out there.
That makes sense. I mean, I don't put those two together like that. I don't think so.
Nah. Laziness just is the way of life. How is that being stubborn?
Laziness conserves energy,
right?
saves the environment.
I learned that a sphere has one more point than a plane.
I've learned that the universe might wrap around almost as if it were a four-dimensional donut.
Today, we learned how to roll. Hoy yo aprendí de la gente de Guaraní y la leyenda de Iguazú.
That being true and miserable on stage is better than any amount of entertaining performance.
Today I learned that I like to make films.
Honestly, I would rather not be able to make new ones because I wouldn't be aware of it. I wouldn't be aware of the loss. I would just be living in the place I was now. I wouldn't be aware that there was something deficient in my life. Forgotten.
I'm a public school teacher, so I'm kind of used to being hated. So, you know, it's one of those where people can hate me for reasons why I might actually love myself, and I can be okay with that. So I think I would rather be okay with being hated than to have people forgive me.
I would rather be hated, which sounds bad, but I feel like this is silly that like haters gonna hate. Like you have to be doing something right in order for someone to react badly to it, you know? Because I feel like the flip side is that some people would also love you. So if it's like purely hated, obviously like nobody wants that, but I feel like that like within that there's kind of a flip side that like if you're being met with hate, then there's also like I feel like a lot of times hate comes from like resistance to change, and so you are probably doing something like at least partially right to be hated.
Hated.
I'd rather be forgotten just because I wouldn't want someone walking around with really like hard or bad feelings towards me. Being hated just isn't a good thing.
I would prefer somebody to have forgotten me over hated me because I really don't care if somebody forgets about me. That's not a big deal to me, but if they have hard feelings towards me, that kind of upsets me. So that's
I think I would rather be forgotten because I don't know, to hate somebody is it's a lot of that's a lot of negativity, and I would rather somebody be able to forget me than hate me because I wouldn't want to impose hate in any way for somebody else. So I'd rather be forgotten.
Hated, definitely hated, and forgotten because I feel like if you're forgotten, that means you kind of didn't really matter in the first place. But if you're hated, at least you're hated for something. Like people know you for something. If you're forgotten, it's like you don't even exist.
Oh, there's this greeting thing I do with my friend when I see him, but I can't really show you.
Andrew!
Oh, hey!
I think one of those things that I try and do more, or I hope I'm doing more, is really listening to people. Because a lot of times people don't listen, they just kind of strike back. And I try and listen. So, yeah.
Cool. Well, I feel like, so I'm bilingual, I speak Hungarian and English, and so I feel like sometimes the way I interact with language is a little different than other people. And I took this really interesting class on translation that like dealt a lot with that, and like how like the way a language is structured is really formative to how you're able to conceptualize things. So Hungarian's a very weird language, like grammatically incredibly different from English. There's a lot of suffixes, and it's just like, it's very separate from all the other European languages. And there's kind of an interesting like way that manifests itself in terms of like the Hungarian consciousness. And I'm kind of in this like in between where obviously like I speak English far better than I speak Hungarian, but like when I go back and like spend a certain amount of time there, you can kind of like see the shifts in like the way you think about certain things. And like I don't think that's unique to like Hungarian English speakers, but I think that's something that's kind of unique to bilingual people, and not to everyone else. So that's not different for everyone, but like different for some people.
I suppose that people don't believe in God because they cannot comprehend God. There's no proof that something beyond what we see exists, and most importantly, I don't think people see the advantage of believing in God. So that's why they don't believe in God.
I look forward to not knowing what's going to happen because something different happens every single day. So I guess it's kind of like going on a new adventure every day, experiencing something new or learning something new.
I look forward to every day. I feel like I have this like moment of inspiration like almost every day, but like it's generally really unpredictable. And sometimes it's like very fleeting and doesn't actually like lead to anything. It's just this like moment where I feel like very present in the time and also in the environment, and then it just like something kind of clicks, and like sometimes I'm able to hold on to that and like make that into something, and sometimes it's totally fleeting, but it happens almost every day, and like when it does, it just like makes me so happy for like that hour where like that moment takes place.
I honestly look forward to the end of the day, because at the end of the day, every day I recap and think about all the things I've done as I'm like falling asleep. I'm like, wow, today was a really good day. So I always look forward, as strange as that sounds, to the end of the day, because I love the feeling at the end of the day, wow, I did this. So I always look forward to that moment when I'm about to fall asleep.
That's a good question.
Oh, that's such a good question. That's like the one I wasn't sure about either, so that's even better.
That's a great question. That's sort of a broad term.
Wait. Hold on, what was I gonna say?
Hi, I'm Destiny.
Perfect.
Okay. Do you want to be in our TV? When did, okay, let's ask this. When did beauty become so quantified? It is okay if you guys don't, like, we've seen videos that people have made before where they'll ask a question and the person is just like, and they put it in the video. So it's okay. If you don't know how to answer, you can just be like, I don't know.
I don't know.
That's a good question.
Also, are you like zooming in on my nose or something weird like that? Because you're like playing with the button the whole time and it's kind of... So...